Are you a Black woman feeling pressured to stay in an unhappy relationship for the sake of the community or family? Well, if you are, this podcast episode challenges the idea that Black women need to sacrifice their own happiness for the advancement of the race. We'll be talking about why Black women deserve fulfilling relationships, not ones built on obligation. How to find love based on compatibility, not just race. Understanding the rising trend of Black women choosing interracial partners, and why Black love shouldn't come at the cost of your own happiness. So join us as we define what Black love and happiness can look like for Black women. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your girlfriends. And look into the description box. You will see a lot of resources that I felt would be useful. So let's begin, shall we? Hey, my loves, and welcome back to the School of U23 podcast. Today, we're starting a new segment called Sis, It's Not Your Job to Save Him. Why Black women deserve to be loved for who they are. And it's all about redefining happiness for Black women. This segment has 4 parts, and so I'm going to do part 1, part 2 today. Now, for many Black women, finding love can feel like walking a tightrope. We're bombarded with messages about community, about uplifting Black men, about sacrificing our own desires for the greater good. But what if I told you that true Black love shouldn't require sacrifice? What if I told you that you deserve a relationship that makes you happy, fulfilled, and respected? Because the truth is, sis, you deserve a partner who celebrates you, who supports your dreams, and who makes you feel good about yourself. You don't need to settle for a lukewarm relationship built on obligation or guilt. I mean, think about it. How can you pour from an empty cup? How can you be the best version of yourself for your family if you're constantly unhappy in your relationship? Hell, how can you be the best version of yourself for you? Think about it. We've all heard the narrative, right? Black women need to be strong, need to hold things together, need to put the needs of others before their own. But that strength shouldn't translate to marginal. Being in a relationship shouldn't feel like a burden. It should feel like a partnership, a support system, a place where you can grow and thrive. No one wants to be in a relationship with someone and they constantly feel unloved, disrespected, belittled, depleted, feel like it's an 80-20 situation, feel misunderstood, misguided, overworked, overwhelmed, used. None of that. None of that is love. All of that is burden. And you have to ask yourself, why I'm allowing this to happen? Why I'm allowing myself to be subjected to this? So throughout this segment, we're going to be unpacking this idea of Black love and obligation. We'll be talking about how to identify unhealthy relationship patterns, how to set boundaries, and how to prioritize your own happiness without guilt, how to be unapologetically happy. Because Black love can be beautiful, it can be fulfilling, it can be a source of joy and strength, but it has to be built on the right foundation. And only you can create that foundation. So that is part one. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds so you can go ahead and regroup and get yourself together, because I want you to stay tuned for part two. And in part two, that's where we're going to discuss how to find love based on compatibility, not just race. Okay? So go ahead, get your popcorn, get your tea, get your order in a drive-through, get whatever that you got to get. I'll wait. I'm not going anywhere. You got it? Okay. Y'all know I got that from Deion Sanders Prime Time on Netflix. I did not know that man was that phenomenal. Okay. I apologize. I digress. But I like how he did that. Okay. So welcome back, my loves. I hope you got everything that you needed. I hope you regroup. I hope you are ready for part two of Sis, It's Not Your Job to Save Him. Why Black women deserve to be loved for who they are. Okay, now, if you're just tuning in, or if you already have been there with us, okay, we all been in there together. In part one, we talked about why Black women deserve fulfilling relationships, not ones built on obligation. We gonna throw that shit out the window, okay? And after you get to a certain age, there is no such thing as obligation or love. After you turn 35, if you are with someone just because you love them and the relationship is unfulfilling, no, that's a no-go. That's not good enough because you know better. Okay? So that's what we focused on in part one. We're not doing that no more, sis. No more building a relationship solely off of obligation. So right now, we're going to dive into how to find that kind of love, the love that you deserve, the love that's based on compatibility, not obligation, and not just race. Okay? Now, look, there's no denying that shared culture experiences can create a strong bond. It truly can. But here's the thing. Race is just one piece of the puzzle here, though. A healthy relationship needs more than that. Think about what truly matters to you in a partner. Do you value shared hobbies, intellectual conversations, similar life goals, financial stability, sexual satisfaction? These are all important factors to consider when looking for love. And there's so many more. There's so many more. It's very subjective because it all boils down to what you want, what matters to you in a partner. Now, some folks might push back and say, but should not prioritize uplifting Black men. If I start dating outside my pool, then I'm diluting our race and then I'm leaving our Black man behind. Here's the answer to that. You can uplift Black men and that conjunction right there and prioritize your own happiness. Let that marinate for a second. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back that couldn't hear it. You can uplift Black men and Prioritize your own happiness. Now, you may be thinking, Natasha Denise, what are you talking about? Like, how do I do that? I got you. First, by setting high standards for yourself and the kind of partner that you deserve. Now, this can get a little tricky for some people. And I say that because you set standards that you yourself can't even obtain. Okay. So let's make sure that the standards are realistic high standards. For example, if you're a woman and you like your man to be fit or your significant other to be fit, you like them to be healthy, you like them in a gym, you want those washboard abs, whatever the case may be, you want them healthy, looking good. Okay, you can't be a slob. You cannot be unhealthy. You cannot be, overweight. You cannot disregard your health. And yet, this is what you're looking for in a partner. You have to make sure that your standards mirror the same standards that you're looking for in a partner. Because men today, regardless of what race, they are looking at women and they trying to see what are you also bringing to the table. Because if you want a man that's bringing the table and bringing everything, they expect for you to at least meet them some way where it's acceptable for them. Okay, so make sure that your standards are realistic. Make sure if you want a quality man that you're a quality woman. And I'm putting that out there, and I'm gonna leave that there. Second, by refusing to settle for someone who doesn't respect your dreams or aspiration. Don't no one want to be with someone who every time that you tell them your dreams or you tell them your aspirations or you tell them your goals, short term, long term, like they always shutting it down or they act like they enthusiastic, but it's phony. Like, like they really don't really care or they really looking at you like this is a hobby, this is you're not going to do it or whatever. It's just, it make you even more self-conscious. It builds more anxiety on you. It makes you even more doubtful of yourself. You don't need that. You don't. You need someone that can believe in you. Now, if you're going to be silly with your dreams and aspirations, like that's all you get, and you're not going to put no work, you have no work effort to go behind that to make it happen, then okay, that might be different. But someone just not believing in your dream and they see that you're going after it and they see you being proactive and they just shit on you, no. No, that's jealousy. That's just something you do not need in your life. It's negative energy. Just hold 360 all around. Third, and lastly, by building a life that fulfills you. By building a life that fulfills you. A lot of times we look for other people to make us happy. No, make your own self happy. Build a life that fulfills you. And by doing that, guess what happens? You're going to end up attracting someone who wants to be a part of that journey. And that's regardless of race. A lot of times, us as Black women, we want to share our life with someone, but yet we have this stipulation but they have to be Black. Well, newsflash, my sister, maybe the person that's you supposed to spend your life with, they might not be Black. You might need to broaden your horizons. You need to expand your dating pool. The person that makes you happy, the person that is for you might not be Black. And that's okay. That's fine. The person that want to be a part that's attracted to this part of the life that you built for yourself might not be Black. So should you deny your happiness just because the person who finds your life fulfilling and wants to be part of this journey isn't who you thought that you should be with? No. Give it a chance. The truth is, okay, here's the truth is this. Black men are just as diverse as any other population group. There are black men who share your values, who understand your experiences, and who will treat you right. There's a lot of black men that will be attracted to the life that you have built, that do want to be a part of your journey, that do want to treat you like the queen that you are, that do want to be that provider, that do not want you to be the strong black woman. He just wants you to be his woman. That believes chivalry is alive and well and thriving. That want to truly love you. All I'm saying is that that's not every black man. And even more, all I'm trying to explain to you is that focusing solely on race, it narrows your options. It might lead you to overlook amazing partners who could be a perfect fit for you. And I see so many black women, and not just black women. There's a lot of women that does that, that wants to stay within a race. I'm just telling you, don't narrow your options. Look at that list that you created for yourself, at the type of man that you want or the type of significant other that you want, and take race out of that and look for that person. Because here's the thing, let's talk about the rising trend of black women choosing interracial partners. This isn't about betraying the race, it's about taking control of your own happiness. It's a sign that black women are prioritizing compatibility and refusing to settle. Because black women have to remember that you are worthy of a love that makes you feel good. You can't be afraid to put yourself out there, to explore your options, and to find someone who compliments you on every level. On every level. You are worthy of happiness. And so many women have been in unhappy relationships to the point that they don't even really understand that that's not normal. And I want it to be understood that I'm not encouraging black women not to date black men. I'm just encouraging you to open up your options. I read an article um, from Pew Research, from social. This is like a social trend. They was looking at social trends, and they focused on intermarriage in the U.S. 50 years after the Loving First Virginia. And one of the things that really was interesting to me is that they stated that black men are twice as likely as black women to intermarry. One of the most dramatic patterns occurs among black newlyweds was that black men are twice as likely as black women to have a spouse of a different race or ethnicity, like 24% versus 12%. So it's just going to continue to grow. Black men pretty much seem to understand that it's important for them to look at whoever that they want to marry, their counterparts, to look at what they have to offer them. They are not narrowing their pool. And so I just think that is very important for Black women to do the same, because there's so many of us that is passing away from congestion heart failure. And a lot of us are doing that because of the stresses that we are enduring on a daily basis. And a lot of us are heading single households. And we wasn't programmed to do it by ourselves. That's why we're not programmed to have babies by ourselves. And I also found that it was interesting that they said that for Black newlyweds, intermarriage rates are slightly higher among those with a bachelor's degree or more, like 21% more. So you have those who have degrees, they will marry outside their race at a higher rate. And among those with some college, 17% have married someone of a different race or ethnicity, as have 15% of those with a high school diploma or less. And so they saying that intermarriage has risen dramatically at all education levels for Blacks, with the biggest proportional increase occurring among those with least education. And so I will say it again. Everyone seems to have the answer to how to date. And Black women are starting to understand that response and is starting to choose interracial partners. And I think that is great. All right, my loves. That's a wrap for part 2 of our series on Sis, It's Not Your Job to Save Him. Why Black women deserve to be loved for who they are. Today, we really did delve deep into why Black women deserve fulfilling relationships and how to find love based on genuine compatibility, not just on the idea of racial obligation. Now, before we head out, I want you to take some time to reflect on what we've discussed so far. Have you been holding on to any beliefs about love or relationships that might not be serving you? Let's use the School of U23 magic and start refocusing our energy on what truly brings us joy. This is your permission slip to release any outdated expectations or toxic patterns that are holding you back from experiencing the love you deserve. Remember, sis, prioritizing your happiness is not selfish, it's necessary. And when you're ready, re-engage with the dating world or your current relationship with a newfound sense of clarity and confidence. You deserve a love that makes your soul sing, sis. Not one that leaves you feeling depleted. And that journey starts with you. But don't worry, the conversation ain't over yet. We're diving deeper into understanding the rising trend of Black women choosing interracial partners and why Black love shouldn't come at the cost of your own happiness in parts 3 and 4. So make sure you tune into 2 days from now for the final part of this series. In the meantime, I want to hear from you. So head over to the School of U23 community chat on the Geneva app and let me know your thoughts. How are you going to reflect, refocus, release, and re-engage in your life? You can also catch us on Instagram and TikTok at School of U23. And remember, your happiness is your birthright, Queen. Never forget that. Thanks for joining me on this journey. And until next time, remember, to reflect, refocus, release, and reengage.